Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Insomnia Scott Selections here for Wednesday, November 10th. Before we get into today's play of the day, quick recap of what being said. We picked up a loss in college basketball with St. Thomas minus 4.5 at minus 110 on BetMGM. Line closed around minus 7.5, so we beat a huge line move, but it did not matter. St. Thomas led by 6 with about 5 minutes to go in the second half, and then it completely fell apart. Chicago State came from behind and even won the game outright. So shout out to Chicago State for snapping their 29-game losing streak. And a shout out to Chicago State for coming from behind and winning. So it happens, not exactly the ideal way you want to start off college basketball season, but we had a shot to win it there, and St. Thomas fell apart down the stretch. It happens. We'll look to bounce back with a winner here on Wednesday. Plus, on the bright side, we did end up winning the farm play with St. John's laying 44.5 against Mississippi Valley State. So it wasn't a total loss for college basketball, but we'll look to bounce back on this actual show, and we'll look for a winner on Wednesday. But unfortunately for the college basketball fans out there, really didn't like much on the card. Pretty limited card after almost every team played yesterday, and I didn't like anything. So for that reason, we're going to transition to basketball in the NBA. Going to be looking at a matchup between the Pacers and the Nuggets, taking place at around 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And for the play of the day, we like the Pacers minus 1.5 at minus 115 on DraftKings. Time recording of 5 a.m. Eastern Time. Reasons why I like the Pacers in the spot. First of all, if you want to look at the records, Indiana's definitely the inferior team. However, Denver is anywhere near full health. We already know the injury to Jamal Murray and how he is the second best player on their team. But looking at the active roster for this season, Michael Porter Jr., we know is supposed to take a big leap. Denver just paid him a bunch of money. I know he's been awful for pretty much the entire season, but he's not going to be playing in this game because he's already been ruled out with a back issue. So he's going to be unavailable. And we know that Denver's offense starts and finishes with Nikola Jokic because he's the defending MVP, one of the most skilled big men of all time in terms of passing, etc. And Jokic is also unavailable for this game because he got suspended for his altercation with Markieff Morris in the last game. In that game, it just so happened Jokic had a triple-double, so he had a huge game, but he's unavailable. And that makes you kind of wonder how Denver's supposed to score because Porter Jr. could catch fire. He's definitely a very streaky shooter, but he has some moments where he can put up a bunch of points. And Jokic is the main facilitator. He's the main scorer, the main rebounder. He does everything for this team. And with him being out of the lineup, I do think that Denver's going to struggle. Now, looking at the projected starting lineup for Denver, you might be wondering who they have left with those guys unavailable. The projected starting lineup, Monte Morris at point guard. Okay, fine, pretty decent guard. Will Barton at shooting guard. He's fine, pretty streaky, but a decent shooting guard. You have Aaron Gordon at small forward, Jeff Green at power forward, and JaMychal Green at center. So no exaggeration, if that was the regular starting five for any team in the league, they'd probably win around 24 games, give or take. That's really just not a great starting five. And you're looking at Indiana, they're pretty much better in every position. You're supposed to have Malcolm Brogdon returning from illness. He missed the last couple of games. I know he's banged up all the time, but he's supposed to be available for this matchup. So you have Brogdon at the point guard spot. You have Chris Duarte at the shooting guard spot. Pretty solid rookie, been solid so far. Karis LeVert at small forward. You have Domantas Sabonis at power forward and Miles Turner at center. So you can make a serious argument that Indiana's better in all five positions in the starting lineup. The exception might be Barton over Duarte, remains to be seen. But at least four of the five positions, Indiana's got a pretty big advantage, and I do think that they have enough firepower to get the job done. Indiana's record might be bad, but we do know that Brogdon's missed some time, LeVert's missed some time. They really have not been on the court that often together, but when they have, they've looked really good. And I do think that Indiana's talented backcourt should create some problems for Denver's backcourt. Plus, you have a lot of size in the interior for Indiana, which Denver should have an issue with. Because looking at the actual numbers, Indiana currently ranks 8th in rebounding rate, while Denver ranks tied for 10th. However, we know Jokic is the main source of rebounding for that team. So I do think that Denver will really struggle on the glass against Turner and Sabonis, and I do think second chance points will be a serious issue for Denver. But at the end of the day, you're looking around the actual sports books that currently have the line up. It's 1.5 on DraftKings, it's 2 on FanDuel, and it's 2.5 on Fox Bet. So this line might fly. I really don't know where money's going to come in on for Denver because I don't know who wants to run to the window to bet on a Denver team missing its two best players. So for me, I'm going to go with Indiana. They haven't played since the 7th. They should be well rested, and I do think that they will come out with a purpose in this matchup against an extremely depleted Nuggets team. To play that once again here for Wednesday, November 10th is going to be on the Pacers, minus 1.5 at minus 110 or minus 115, sorry, on DraftKings. Bye, everyone.